stopping by today. I have a beautiful guest and someone that inspires the hell out of me. And I'm so excited for you all to hear her story because she just honestly, ever since I met you, Tricia, you have just really empowered me to be a better just female powerhouse or something. So I just enjoy watching everything that you're creating, but also just like the ripple effect you're having on this world. So maybe you can share who you are, even though I said your name already, but just where you come from and just a little bit about your background.
Yeah. Well, thank you, by the way. That's an amazing compliment. I'm like, I inspired somebody. It feels weird to accept those compliments for some reason. So thank you. So I live in Kansas City, Missouri, and I have been on a personal development journey for about 14 years now. And, just really trying to figure out why I was making the mistakes in my life that I was making. And soon after started my healing journey. So I've read like every book I could find about, reprogramming the subconscious and all that good stuff. And I started out as a hairstylist and did hair for about 20 years, retired about 3 years ago. And the day I retired, I got this amazing idea about inner child healing and virtual reality, which is coming to fruition right now, which is absolutely amazing. But I started a web design and branding agency about 14 years ago as well. I had two little girls at home, so I didn't really want to go work out of the home. And so I had them at home with me and did my work just whenever I possibly could. And way too much hustle and grinding. I think as entrepreneurs, we think we're going to have this amazing free life, and then we end up not being that way. So I can say now that I have written down like my perfect day and I am living it. And that it absolutely feels so amazing to just know that I have taken all the steps to just get to this place of freedom and peace that just I can't even, heaven on earth is what I call it, which is the title of my next book, actually. So I'm an author as well. I wrote one book called Love Your Journey, and it was published about 3 years ago. And it was basically like each chapter is an emotion, and then you have inspiration, scripture, and action items to either get in that emotion or get out of it if it's more of a negative one. And so it was really cool. It was a 7 year journey. A lot of blood, sweat, and a lot of tears went into that book. And so here we are today as, just writing another book and just really trying to, keep living the life of my dreams.
I love that. And I love that you already have a published book underneath your belt, but you have one coming out that is a beautiful love
Hmm.
story. And I know there's another book coming to fruition as well. But I just wanted to circle back to you saying that you've been on a personal growth journey for, what did you say? How many years?
14.
14, double. So 14 years. So where were you? Where was Trisha then at that, like that you first? Because like I know for me, when I first found personal growth and development, I had just had Sienna, my daughter, so 17 years ago, and I found The Secret, and I was like, "What is this? This changed my life." And what's going on? Because I feel so different. So that kind of like was, I feel like for me, like the earthquake, that ripple effect, that switching plates, that like changed my trajectory because I paid attention to listening to The Secret. But for you, you say 14 years ago. So like, what is it that, where were you at in your life that impact shift?
Yep. So I was getting divorced, and actually it is so cool. And I mean, we have so many similarities, but The Secret was the first book I read as well. And then I
Was
watched the documentary. I remember sitting in my basement. We had like a movie theater screen, sitting in my basement watching The Secret, and I'm like, is this really true? Thoughts become things. And then I started diving in more, and it's like, no, it's like thoughts become things, but I always say your feelings become your reality.
it? Yeah, I agree to all of that because it's like feeling, thoughts. Like I always go back, thought of the thought. Like what is the secondary thought? And that is what rules your life, really. Because why do people not win the lottery when they buy lottery tickets? Because when they buy it, they think, I'm not going to win this anyway. Right. So, like, that is like so impactful because it's the thought of the thought. So, yeah. So, I listened to The Secret on the way to taking Jake to school. And then I remember going to a party and I was like, to my husband at the time, I was like, do I look different? I feel so different. It's like I had this knowledge and it just blew wide open, right? So I didn't understand though masculine and feminine energy. And I think for me, when I understood that concept, that changed everything because I was a doer in the masculine energy. And I know that your masculine energy is so beautiful and I love watching you do. Um, but like tell me about the things you do because you're just a doer. You just go and do and produce and all the things. But what do you do to balance that? Because that's what it is. It's a balance, right? It's ease and flow.
Absolutely. So, well, I started meditating, I would say probably 5 or 6 years ago. That is a life changer. It is, if I, so many people say, I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to calm my mind. And it's like, if there was anything that you should do, it is meditation. It is because, I mean, that's the thing, right? We do. And yes, I'm a doer too. Totally in my masculine energy. I've been the head of my household for many, many years. And so I've had to be that, right? And then I've had to really step back and realize that I actually make more money when I go on vacation and whenever I do the things that relax me and bring me back down to that feminine place of the ease and flow. And I think, but beyond meditation, journaling, it's taken me a while to really get a hold of that, but I do gratitude every single morning. And not only do I do gratitude, I do gratitude for the things I have, but I also do gratitude for the things to come as if they've already been here, right? We both know so much about like feeling is the secret, Neville Goddard, and it's like as the wish is already fulfilled, law of assumption, it's done, you know? And
Mm.
so I just really think that whenever you can do that, or I mean, even programs, right? Like different programs that you're in, different courses that you're doing, those can be like a mixture, right? Because you're doing them, but you're also being and really becoming a different person and stepping into a new trajectory of life and really getting off of that autopilot loop is what I talk about a lot. Okay, well, what can I do different? What kind of response can I have to this situation to be able to get off of this cycle that a lot of people end up on?
Yeah, and I love that. Like, so what you're saying, I will just come back to the gratitude part because I was privileged to read her Tricia's love book that she has out. So I love that you trusted me with that, and it made me cry actually. Like, it really made me cry because reading it and hearing about like your guys' love story. So just to circle back for you guys, Tricia manifested the love of her life. And so I think this was one of the reasons like I was so drawn to her because she was so certain. And then I mean there's all the other things too. Now we know we keep on discovering stuff, but just this story of her manifesting the love of her life. Yeah, can you just share a little bit about that? Because I know it comes from gratitude. So
Yeah. So the book is called Where the Sunflowers Bloom, and it is a beautiful combination of like this romance novel that collides with spirituality. So I went on this major spirituality journey about, I guess it was 5 years ago now. Time goes by so fast. I always get lost in the years. And I decided that I was going to get off that cycle that I was just talking about and stop dating and really, really figure out who Tricia is. And I found little Tricia in that process. And I have really brought her into me, right? And really started healing a lot of those parts of me that needed to be healed. And so I sat in my meditation chair. I say that I did it for 3 years and I really sat there a lot. Like I went out and hung out with my friends and did all the things. And I dated a little bit, at first, whenever I got divorced for the second time. And I started realizing, okay, well, these people are being put into my life because it's showing me that I still have things I need to heal from. And I needed to do that journey on my own. Some people are able to do their healing journey with other people, and I just don't think I was. I was one of the people that I had to do it on my own, but I didn't know how I was going to show up in a relationship when I was in a relationship again, especially from somebody that was coming from a place of like a healed me is going to attract a different type of person than an unhealed me. And so I just didn't know how
I
I
just
was
want to
going
pause
to.
you for a second there. So for the ladies, the single ladies in the house, like hearing that, it's so important because if you want to, like you said, healed me is going to attract a different version. If you are not facing what you need to be healing, not need to be, but you desire to heal, you're going to date the same man over and over, just a different face. So you pulled your power back and you were able to be like, no, I am not going to continue to date these kind of guys. I am going to what I desire. So this is the thing for anyone that's reading or watching this, reading this, watching this, to understand. It's like, it's not them, it's you. And you just said it. You pulled back and you're like, I'm gonna heal what's going on in here so I don't project that and keep matching that.
Yeah.
So one, yeah.
Yeah. So I started my inner child healing journey, went back and talked to little Tricia and really reparented her. So a lot of the idea behind that is like your brain doesn't know the difference between past, present, and future. So whenever you can go back and heal that little person, it literally heals you and helps your emotional regulation and how you respond to situations. And it's just an amazing process. And I mean, I do it all the time. And so on that journey though, I spent time like journaling. I spent time, creating my list, right? I had one list that was all of my must haves in a person. I had a wish list, and then I had a red flags list because I was very good at ignoring red flags, like really good at ignoring them. And so having those lists and then writing a letter to this beautiful man, that's what I always called him, was this beautiful man, and it's not even about the outer beauty, right? It's like the inner beauty and all of that. And so I had told a couple of my best friends the summer before I met him. I had told them, I said, whenever like this man that is going to come into my life is going to bring a bunch of yellow flowers, not one, not 12, a bunch. So in August, it was actually so August 11th, we started talking on Bumble. Online dating does work. Um, it can be healthy and it does work. I will say that. It was really frustrating at the time, right? Whenever you're in the middle of it and you delete it and then you get back on and then you delete it. So I totally have been there, done that. And so whenever we started talking, I was kind of in this place where I had just completely detached from the outcome of what was getting ready to happen. And I was just like, I had told my friends about the yellow flowers, but I wasn't focusing on that at all. And so whenever I almost didn't even go on our first date because I was like, I had went paddleboarding that day and I was like, I was sunburnt and I was like just tired. And I had already eaten whenever we had went to dinner, which of course he was like, are you serious? Like why would you eat before coming to dinner? Anyways, it turned out absolutely amazing. We were out until like 1 o'clock in the morning, just talking and talking. We went for a ride in his Jeep and it started raining and the top was off. And it was just like this beautiful romantic night. And then after it was over, we pulled up next to each other. We both have Jeeps. And so that was like my come online to him was like, hey, tell me about these Jeeps and good tunes because I want to do that, right? Because that's what I do all the time by myself. And so we pulled up next to each other at a stoplight and he looks over at me and I could just tell he did not want to go home. And I was like, bye, I just drove off because obviously first date, right? Going home. So, so it was just amazing. So I think it was probably about a month later he came to me and we were actually laying in the hammock at his house. And he was like, he showed me this picture of all these yellow flowers. And I was like, well, that's a picture of yellow flowers. That's not really yellow flowers. These aren't mine yet, right? And so I was sitting there. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to leave this alone for a while. And then he ended up sending me, it was about 2 weeks later, sending me 18 yellow sunflowers that showed up at my house. And I was like, there you go. There's my sign, right? And I had already known, I was already in the middle of falling in love and everything was beautiful and amazing. But that was just that one sign, right? That was just this like, okay, give this your all, show up, the way you should be showing up. And I can't even tell you, Shannon, like he is not only everything on my want list, he's everything on my wish list. And he sings to me. Do you know what he sang to me? He sang to me Dirty Dancing, Hungry Eyes, like just these beautiful songs. He sings to me all the time. And it's like this is what every 14-year-old has wished for. And so I
Mm-hmm.
didn't even that wasn't even on my wish list. So that's why I call him my 200%. Because it's like I had my 100%, I had my wish, 150, right? And now I got my 200% of things I
Oh,
didn't even know I wanted.
oh, I love that. So beautiful. That's why I cried reading your book. Like it's just really a love story, right? Taylor Swift. You're in Kansas City anyways. Taylor Swift's going to feature you on her love story song.
Crack me
Oh
up.
my goodness. So now that you have your man and whatnot, but that doesn't stop you there of what you are manifesting in your life. You are a busy entrepreneur. Your daughter is an entrepreneur. I love that she just opened up her own little clothing boutique, but just you're such a role model. So honestly, like that's just not it. So like there's more to what you're manifesting and bringing into your life. So just want to maybe share just a quick, I know that you have big things in the future, but just share with us what's going on with you in that world.
Yeah. So I think I feel like we are put here and or we came here to experience certain things. And so our experiences create our lives, right? And so the things that we get to learn from, I feel like we are here to teach others. So I always tell people like whatever you've triumphed over, plus your passion, plus your skill set equals your purpose. And so my purpose is to help other people heal from whether it's childhood trauma or whatever happened whenever they were little. Because it's like whenever you're like 8 and under, right? Your personality is completely developed until you realize that you might have some healing you need to do and you know that you need to change some things. So all of those years are so impressionable. So if we can go back and if we can heal that little person, and I think a lot of people think, well, I didn't have any real big trauma. I had a great childhood. Well, there's no way you can feel seen, loved, heard, and safe all the time. It's not possible for our parents, right? They did the best they possibly could with what they knew. And
Mm.
unfortunately, a lot of people recreate their lives. I started down that path and then I really figured out, oh, okay, this is what I'm doing. These are the changes I need to make. And so that was the 3 years of not dating. And so it's this place of just really knowing that that's how I was healed and not was healed, right? There's always going to be healing lessons and growth to go, to go going forward, but I think the biggest thing is that people heal in their own ways, but when we can heal that little person inside of us, it just is such a freeing experience. And it just feels so good to be like walking as a confident woman, right? Like our self
Mhm.
identity is so important. We know that. And I think that the whole idea of inner child healing is like, yeah, you have to go into your imagination and picture this little person. And so I started, thinking that, like I said, that the day I quit doing hair, I got this amazing, like, idea in the middle of the night was to create virtual reality inner child healing. Well, in virtual reality, you're immersed, fully immersed in this experience. And so I finally found a developer that is absolutely amazing and she does inner child healing. She talks to her inner child, so she knows how this stuff works and she knows how to develop the project. So, just a phenomenal resource to have in my corner, and just so, so, so excited for what that's going to bring in the future.
I can't wait. And I can't wait to experience it, but I can't wait to see the ripple effect that you're going to have on this planet with this taken off. Like it's so exciting. Definitely I have my popcorn for this one. It's so good. So good. So Tricia, I know that you are a lover of all the personal growth and development, but for the people watching, like what is one book that changed your life?
Oh, and I don't know if I have just one. Well, I started.
You can have three. I know you like options. You could have
Okay.
three.
Okay. Well, like I said, we started out with The Secret. It was good. It was great. It was what it was, right? And then you kind of just start moving past that. And I started reading Untethered Soul by Michael Singer was absolutely amazing. Because we create so many things in our mind that aren't true. And, we have to figure out what reality is to us. And so I think that that was probably the second one. And I'm kind of just going in chronological order, but really finding the Conversations with God books and Happier Than God probably being my favorite one of those so far. Friendship with God was amazing too. But I think just this place of spirituality, and I feel like we're sent here to send this, spread this divine message out into the world. And so when you can find that spirituality, and I wouldn't consider myself like super religious, right? But spirituality, 100%. I believe that God is within me, and what better close relationship can you have than that? So you don't ever feel alone. I mean, it is the most beautiful thing to feel that like heaven on earth type presence. And so that's where I feel like my message of the next book of Heaven on Earth is born from, right? Is that divine message of just feeling amazing in your own body and helping other people do the same.
I can't wait to read it. Oh my goodness. I just see you inspire. I see. Isn't she so inspiring? Just always, you're just creating. You're just such a beautiful creator. So, for anyone that wants to follow you, where do you live on social media?
I'm on Facebook. Definitely just look up my name. It's pretty easy to find. Not too many of us. Well, one's an artist, and I'm like, that's not me. But Trish Keatley on Instagram and Trisha Keatley on YouTube and TikTok. Trish Keatley as well. So, and of course, you can go to Tricia Lee, TriciaLea.com and find all the things.
Well, we'll post down below this too,
Yeah.
right? When we put it up, so so everyone can find you so easy and effortlessly. Thank you so much for being my guest today. I adore your energy, I adore your soul, and I can't wait to meet you in person to give you a hug. I really can't wait. And I know that the two of us are born to create something magical together, and stuff's happening. So I appreciate you. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much.